excited for it.
How are you feeling, Blake?
You know, I'm feeling really good. We're kind of getting back in the game, getting podcasts going again.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm excited to be working.
Gotcha.
That's my big thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, dog.
I'm crazy lightheaded right now.
Is it because you just took a giant shit?
No. It might be that. It's either because I drank 2 energy drinks today, or I'm dying. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Spiritual Successor. We're a video game design podcast inspired by Polygon's Cool Games, Inc. I'm your host, AJ Hart.
And I am your second host, Blake Rea. This is a podcast where we take ideas from the current Cool Games, Inc. Reddit page and develop what that game would actually look and feel like. We've both kind of dug through the Reddit, and we have found some of our favorites, and we're going to pitch each other ideas till we kind of find the game that we want to make into a AAA bestseller. So, AJ, tell me one of your ideas.
Yeah, I got a video game suggestion right now that I got from the Cool Games Inc. Reddit. This comes from user Whoopshit. They submitted this about 4 months ago, so we're very timely.
Hot on the presses there.
So timely. A video game that is somehow just a 20-hour tutorial. And now, this got me thinking, because when I first heard this, my immediate thought was, oh, this is just literally any JRPG that exists.
You know what's so funny? I was just thinking, like, I'm playing the Persona games for the first time, so I'm like, oh, that's literally just Persona 4.
But what if a game capitalized on that, and just, like, every time you turned around, you're being given another tutorial, and it's like, oh, okay, now you need to learn how to reload your gun. And then, like, 2 stages later, it's like, hey, now you need to learn how to rebuild your gun, because it broke. And then an hour later, you're like, okay, this is how you propose to your fiancé. And now that I've explained this, I'm just realizing that I'm describing Telltale games.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just trying to figure out, like, how do you keep it entertaining?
Man, if we could have figured that out, Telltale never would have went out of business, huh? This one may not work. This one may be...
No, probably not.
You got one?
I do. I actually have a couple. Oh, which one do I want to give you guys? Okay. This one's fun because it has... I'll go with my simple one. So
who's it from?
So this is from Choco99, and this was posted about a month ago. So the cool thing going on right now, battle royales are kind of a big concept right now. I want to do a skating game. Tony Hawk, I think, would be a perfect investor for this, and we call it Tony Hawk's Battlegrounds.
Okay.
So it's a battle royale, but you gotta, like, play horse with everybody. Or play skate with everybody. I'm sorry, that's the skate equivalent of horse.
Okay, so the leaderboards are based on, like, how good you're doing tricks and stunts.
Yeah, you got to out trick everybody. And then,
do you remember? Did you play Tony Hawk's Underground?
I did.
Okay,
that's where most of my music taste came from.
There was a whole mechanic when you could, like, hop off your skateboard and run over and just, like, sucker punch people. And so what if we gave that mechanic in this game? And so if you get sucker punched, you die.
Is it like one hit?
Yes.
Oh my god.
And so everyone is able to sucker punch. You all have to drop down from one ramp instead of, like, the big parachute thing. It's just one giant
It's like a ramp from God, basically?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm all about that, actually.
And then once you're in there, you have to do cool stunts and win lots and lots of points, because that's how you get higher up on the leaderboards.
Okay.
But if anybody punches you, you're out and you lose.
See, I like that, because there's the balance of, like, are you going to choose the route of, like, are you just going to punch it until you're the last guy left? Or are you going to, like, spend your time just doing as many tricks as possible avoiding?
Is there 2 leaderboards then?
Maybe. Like, well, I mean, because...
We have a trick leaderboard, and then we have our standard PUBG, you got punched, so now you die leaderboard.
But, okay, yeah, there's an imbalance there. Because if it was punching, it would just be basically PUBG, but with, like, a skateboarding mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go around and you can punch people, but the whole point of the game is, like, whenever you come across somebody, you need to score more points than that person. So you have, like, a small game of skate or whatever.
But then how do people get eliminated?
They got out-tricked, yo.
Okay. Well, we could run with a...
Do you want to put a pin in that?
Yeah, we'll put a pin in this.
Okay.
We'll come back to it. I think there's ground to tread here. I have an idea also that is very, very good. This comes from user The Not D&D Show from about 3 months ago. Very timely response on us.
Yeah.
A head-to-head city builder game. 2 players build separate cities, but can trigger disasters in their opponent's city by hitting milestones first.
Ooh.
This is the coolest idea.
That's really fun.
I've never played like civs.
Yeah, Civilization. You can attack other people's like stuff. You can do like the war route.
But what if this is like a Zoo Tycoon or a City Tycoon, but with like a civ aspect? Or like if you hit the milestone where it's like, oh, congratulations, all your people have free healthcare. Now you can release Godzilla in your competitor's town.
I like how healthcare and Godzilla are related to one another.
I don't have any other ideas. But maybe the kaiju aspect is something worth tapping into.
Ooh, I like that. What is the ultimate goal? Is just destroying... You have to be the last civilization left?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe there's win conditions. Maybe if you like, there's like different paths, and so it's like, okay, your town sells, like has a mass gross product of like $100 million. Like you just produce so many cars that you're just the car city, and you've won because you make so much money. And then another win condition would be that you went to outer space. And maybe it's those different conditions. Like if you build the first rocket, then you get to launch an alien on someone's thing.
I like this. Two things I would want to introduce. One, depending on where you place your civilization or your city, because I guess we shouldn't say civilization because it's civ. So you want to place your real estate. Depending on where you put it on the globe affects what kind of businesses you would have and what kind of opportunities you can get with that sort of area. So like, for example, where's the place that grows bananas? South America, right?
Yeah, sure.
So basically you build your city in South America, and after you reach a massive production of bananas, all of your weapons could be banana themed.
Okay.
Or all of your like civilization destroying abilities are of a particular theme. Or like, say you build it in Chicago, all of you just suddenly are coming out with like mechs that have trucks on top of them, like that one cartoon show. What's it called?
XLR?
XLR. Yeah.
Wait, okay, hold up. The idea of like your different things that you create you can combine together is incredible, because what if we take your banana idea and we take my car distribution idea and now you just have a bunch of go-karts that can throw banana peels behind the Mario Kart style. And now that you've hit these two benchmarks and you can combine those together, now you can attack another competitor's city and drive through there throwing banana peels everywhere. And then you come back, and then gamifying it. Now when that person's building their city, if they need to get like materials to different locations, like they're trying to build a tower, so they need to get all their cement from their cement factory to their tower construction. Now they're super delayed because they have banana peels everywhere, and so traffic's going to be really, really bad on their civ.
How cartoony is this game? Because I feel like the moment you introduce bananas as a slippable object, it suddenly becomes really like silent film gaggy.
Well, so far, Blake, we've created Godzilla, aliens, the XLR robot, and bananas on go-karts. This is maybe the most cartoon-ass game we've ever seen.
Okay, I like it. I want to pitch you on one more.
Okay.
On one more game, because I actually am really liking this Civilization sort of vibe, because there's a lot to grow here. But I want to pitch this one because I think its mechanic is genius.
Okay.
It's a multiplayer shooter, or maybe a party game, where at regular intervals, the buttons mapped onto the controller are randomized.
Oh, shut up. Okay, read that one more time.
Okay, so it's a multiplayer shooter or some sort of party game.
Okay.
Where I'm imagining it would need to be... Maybe it could be like kind of Mario Party-esque.
Okay,
where it's a bunch of different sort of games that have like set controls or kind of the same thing for each minigame.
Yes.
But at regular intervals, the buttons mapped onto the controller are randomized. So there's like this gag of trying to figure out how to control your character as every couple of minutes it completely changes.
Okay. So what's the game then?
I think it would be really cool if it was like a Team Fortress 2-esque style shooter where it's kind of cartoony, but maybe like the weapons are a little bit more gaggy. Like gag oriented.
My thought was that what if instead of a first person shooter where all the controls are randomized, because here's my main problem with that idea. I feel like you can only randomize first person controls so much before it just gets obtrusive and the analog sticks are just going to flip, and that's going to be the cool twist. What if we took a fighting game and like Smash Brothers, but the controls always were changing? This is Smash.
It's sheer luck at this point, admittedly.
Well, there's all sorts of weird mechanics that people can learn when they play Smash. Teching or whatever. And so at that point, they just need to find which button is the tech button. And then they have to relearn it all.
I would like this in a game. I think it's the balance of it is where how long the game matches are. Because I feel if the game matches are longer, doing that might actually become really, really difficult.
Okay.
So, like, I like the idea of, like, maybe you ever play the game Dropkick?
Yes.
It's like, it's one hit kill. The games are so quick and instant. Like Nidhogg. It's just such a fast game, and then it's done. What if you did that, and it's like all the buttons, it's like randomized, but you have to figure out which button it is before your opponent does. So it's a quick draw kind of game.
Holy shit, it's a quick draw game.
Yeah. So you have to figure it out. But this might be fucked up too. What if you introduced a mechanic to where, because like one thing that I'm thinking people would do is like,
they're just going to press them all the second they go in.
They're going to press them all. So one of them is a suicide button. So
okay.
it's like Russian roulette with your own controller. So instead of everybody just jamming all of their buttons,
they have to be really careful.
They have to like be careful. And maybe what they can do is it's a turn-based thing. So like player 1 has to press a button. If they don't get it, it moves to player 2, and then if he doesn't get it, it goes back to player 1.
Okay, can I just say,
yeah.
This sounds like the coolest Mario Party game ever, just as a sidebar.
I like this because it plays with like the tech a little bit of the game, and it's so simple, you know?
But it feels like a mini game.
Yeah, but I feel like you can have so much fun with it.
Okay, we could.
It would be like...
This is for like a party style game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what if we just tried to think about a couple different games that all fall under this roguelike controller layout? We have our cowboy game.
Okay, so it's like a quick draw, first one to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a game where... what would be another good game?
Russian roulette would be perfect.
I mean, that's just a cowboy drawing game.
No, not really. It's like, so you have one controller, and you basically hand the controller to whoever's turn it is, and they have to press one of the buttons on the controller. And you know what would be really messed up? It may be on the screen, it would be it would display which button was just pressed before it passes on to the next player.
Oh, so they know.
So they know, or it could be like, this one person knows. Actually, no, they would need to do that, because if we didn't show it, that one person could just keep pressing the one button and never dying. But it could be like, you can do a Russian roulette game, which would be fun.
Okay.
You can do a quick draw one that has the suicide button. So you actually have to like be calculated about it. I want to do a puzzler.
A puzzler.
What would work as a puzzler?
It's like Tetris. It's like a Tetris blocky game that comes down, but you never know what button's going to move it where. And there is 2 timers. There's one timer that's like how long the Tetris match is going.
Oh, that'd be
and then there's
good.
a second Tetris counter that's like, hey, in 30 seconds, all the controls are going to be flip-flopped, and then down is up is down, left is right, and so on and so forth. All right, there's 3 mini games. So
okay,
now we've created our random box.
Okay.
That game, done. Pack that, seal that, ready for launch.
I like that. We'll have to...
Do you have another video game idea?
I do have one more, but I want to hear your next idea if you have one.
No, I don't have one.
Okay, I have one more I can pitch you.
Okay, let's hear it.
It's a stealth game where you play as a time-traveling historian. So you have to like so you're going to like major historical events for reasons unknown, and you have to sneak your way through it. And if you get caught, you shatter reality as we know it.
Okay. This is awesome. This is very, very good. So you're like, okay, now I'm going to go see the speech from Abraham Lincoln because I want to know exactly what he said. But God, I cannot mess this up. Rewind it.
Okay, tell your idea, and then I have a really good idea.
Okay, so you're like, okay, I want to go back to the World War I situation where the guy got shot and ended up starting all of World War I and World War II, the guy that was trying to eat the sandwich. But you need to go back to this to document it, but you cannot stop this man from getting his sandwich. Because if he does not get his sandwich, he does not get shot, or he does not do the killing that starts World War I.
Okay, I like this. There's 2 routes you can go with that. One, he is sent there to just document and take pictures. Like maybe, here's the thing. Time traveling is invented in 20 whatever.
Okay.
And
20XX. The good random XX.
It's very Contra of you. the government has had so many conspiracies in their history. His job is to go back in time and take pictures of the area where the conspiracy happened. Like, he went there to go take pictures of JFK's assassination.
Oh my God.
But you can do that. Also, another route of it, if you want to make it a little bit more cartoony, is like he's sent to go do that, but somehow he always manages to mess up. So he has to make sure these conspiracies happen unadulterated. Like, he has to sneakily make this conspiracy event happen. Like, maybe he accidentally knocks out the dude. This is kind of morbid. He accidentally knocks out the dude that kills JFK, and then he has to kill JFK. I don't know if that might be a little too messed up, but like, that's one way of doing it. Or
who? This was given to us by Smools.
Yes.
I realized we forgot to say
Oh
who
my God,
gave
I'm
that.
so sorry.
I had this one saved as well, actually.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Oh my God, this is so cool. So my other thought was, what if you go back in time and you realize that some of these are conspiracies? Mm-hmm. You go back in time to document that these things are not conspiracies, but you discover that they are in fact conspiracies, and you need to help sell this conspiracy and make sure that it happens legitimately. So you go back in time and you're like, I'm going to go back in time and prove that the moon landing was real. But then you go back in time and you're like, oh my God, I'm on the moon set. Like, the moon landing was a total sham. It was super duper fake. I have to make sure that this looks super real, just like it did in the real world.
Because he messed it up or something?
Because if you mess it up and you blow this case wide open, you're going to change time forever.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden you have to do like Hitman style gameplay. You have to make sure that the camera operator gets the camera in the right spot. You need to make sure that all of the like astronauts get in the correct costumes. You have to make sure that the flag is prepped and like just wavy enough that it'll look like it's on the moon, but not too wavy that it looks fake in CG. This is it. This is the nugget. This is the game that I want to talk about. Holy shit. Okay, so other gameplay ideas. You have to go back in time and
you have to right your wrongs because you messed up.
You have to right your wrongs. Like, you come in at the beginning of every mission and you wang it up so hard. Like, you come back in time and you're like, hey guys, I'm here. What's another conspiracy? Help me out.
Roswell, New Mexico.
I'm giving you a look that tells you I have no idea what Roswell is. JFK. Who killed JFK? Who killed Hitler?
Oh, also the assassination of Caesar would be kind of a cool one.
Okay, so we go back in time to see the assassination of Caesar. But what's this? You show up. Oh, this is it. You show up back.
Knife that. Oh, go ahead.
You show up back in time, and you're like, okay, let's see why and how Caesar was killed by all of his like friends and family members. And you show up, and everybody loves Caesar so much. They can't get enough of the guy. You show up, and everyone's like, Caesar, you're the coolest guy ever. And so now the level for the Caesar level is you have to go through time, and like you have to plant all the like little things that make everybody hate Caesar. It's like, oh, Caesar? Hey, Brutus, I know you're like real best friends with Caesar, but he totally got down and jiggy with your wife, like, all the time.
But I love the idea that there's kind of layers to it, because you're going back to Rome, right? You don't speak the language.
No,
you don't write. So you need to find somebody that is willing to help you. And depending on who you choose, it could make your mission more difficult. Like, you just choose some random bum guy that just doesn't show up to help you. And he takes your money, and now you're just up creek without a paddle.
No, that's so good. So, like, you can't just tell...
Yeah,
you can't say to Brutus that Caesar slept with his wife. Yeah. You have to actually, like, coerce Caesar into sleeping with Brutus's wife. God. Like, you have to get Brutus's wife...
Oh, God.
You have to get her and Caesar in the same room, because, like, obviously they had a thing for each other. He's the king of Rome. Easy. Naturally, she's into it. And so, like, you get them in the same room together.
It's got that big king energy.
Exactly. And then, like, it's like, Caesar just, like, you walk around and you're like, you pour all the wine out. And then when, like, the cops show up, they're like, hey, who did this? And you point at Caesar, you're like, him. You can't say it, but you're like, he did it. Caesar. Because that's the only word you know in Rome, man.
I think that's what they spoke, yes. Rome. Yeah. Greek. I think Greek.
Greek?
Speak Greek.
I don't know. Anyway,
man, we should have known more about history to talk about a history time travel.
This is the coolest game ever. No, okay, and so like every level is like this, or like you keep time traveling and you keep finding out that things are not right, and you have to correct history.
Okay, I think for us to properly crack this game, we should talk about maybe not the first level because that would show you. I don't think I want to talk. I want to like crack on like how the tutorial would be. I would be like, what is like midway through this game look like? What is like say there's 10 levels. Okay. What does level 5 or 6 look like?
Level 5.
So what historical event do we want to do? The Caesar one's good.
Caesar one's good.
We can do the one... Man, I think a lot of these would relate towards assassinations.
A lot of them are going to be assassinations. But not all of them. Maybe you go into the first time that Abraham Lincoln... Oh, it's the whole, like, 20 years ago speech that Abraham Lincoln does. Except you show up, and he has none of it written. And so you have to go through... This is halfway through the game. And now you do have dialogue options and you can coerce people in. But you have to give Abraham Lincoln all of the inspiration needed for that speech.
You just need to be a huge... like. You need to become his best friend. Just powwow with him.
You help him write the speech. And then at the end, like, you have to be like, okay, Abraham Lincoln, I cannot stress this enough. Never speak about me again.
You know, it'd be so funny.
Maybe we don't worry about that, and like everyone just like ignores this guy once he ceases to exist in their timeline.
Okay, here's the thing. How usable is his phone? So say he time travels, because like, none?
None.
Because I was thinking like...
You only have the tools that are there with you.
Okay. So I was thinking he could just search on Google like, hey, what's the full like copy of the speech? And he passes to Lincoln, he's like, who wrote this?
Well, hold on, you bring up an interesting idea now. Progression.
Yeah.
What is the progression of this game?
I think you acquire more skills. More like...
Okay, what do skills look like?
More, it would be kind of cool that you collect different tools from different time periods that allow you to do certain things.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so we have like kind of like a Legend of Zelda-esque thing. Like every level gives you a new tool that you can use in other things. Like you go back to the Wild Wild West and you get a lasso. And now in the future, you can use your lasso to pull things down. You can say,
is this like
the Caesar pulled down all the chandeliers, I saw it. But you did it with your cool lasso and you just vandalized the whole place.
Yeah, I'm all about that. So it basically... This is like an adventure game then, like a point and click adventure game.
Yes.
So like you're dragging like you have your backpack inventory at the bottom of the screen of like you have your lasso from the Wild West, you have like a time telling stone from Rome or something, or sundial from Rome, and you just drag it to use on various things. But also you find things from it'd be super cool.
Wait,
like you find something from level 1 that's not used like anywhere until like level 10.
That'd be cool.
Like it's like a gold coin from Rome that you have to use at the very end to pay somebody off.
Ooh, that's cool.
Know?
Okay, here's my question.
This is mystery.
Do we want to do it point and click style, or do we want to do it Hitman style? Because if we do it Hitman style, like you're in like a 3D world, now we can offer progression systems of like, he levels up and now you can run faster. So now you can like set something up and then run to go get somebody to come bring them back. And it's like, I've set up a bomb. And now if I go get a police officer and bring them back, I can be like, oh my god, what?
I feel like that's adding so many layers to it that it's just like, now you got to look at stats and like, what's their endurance, what's their agility, what's their speed running.
You just want to simplify it, point and click?
Simplify or point and click, but I feel like they should find like an easy solution to that situation is he found an adrenaline needle that allowed him to run. He jammed in his heart.
Oh, you have the adrenaline needle you picked up from the late 80s. You go back to ancient Rome, and now you just juice yourself and sprint so fast, and like a little text blurb comes up. It's like, the adrenaline needle makes you run super duper fast. Go find the police. And you're just like, okay, click, 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 click. Boom, I'm at the police. Okay.
You found him in time.
I'm into it. Okay.
Oh god, that's super fun. It'd be super cool. Like you do a level that's just nothing but cryptid stuff. So like you go to that famous picture of Bigfoot. Okay. Like the one where he's looking over his shoulder.
Yeah.
You have to like help those two dudes that found him.
They have to help the two guys that made the Bigfoot photo?
Yeah. Or you have to like you go and look at the whole Nessie situation, you know, like that famous picture of Nessie, and you're the one that has to like learn how to whittle wood to make that.
Yes, holy shit, this is the coolest game ever. Sorry, Tony Hawk's Pro Gamer Underground, you weren't it this time. It's this game, the Time Traveler.
I'm having a lot of fun with this one.
The Time Traveler's life.
Oh, what do we want to call it?
What did we name this game?
Assassination Time Traveler?
There's a good name somewhere in the idea that it is a time traveler that is doing conspiracies.
Stealth Traveler?
Stealth Traveler's good. Conspiracy, time con.
TimeCon?
No, that's not it.
Stealth Timer?
Stealth timer. Well, I feel like the stealth mechanic's been kind of thrown out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a point and click. There's not a lot of stealth to do in point and click.
But there's like the whole story arc is very stealthy.
Yeah.
The mechanics aren't that stealthy. What could we do to add some stealth? Ooh, maybe we can add some like mini games where you have to like some sort of evading mini games. Or like you have to like do certain things by a certain amount of time before you're caught, or something like that. Maybe it might be a little bit too forceful.
Yeah, I don't know if the stealth mechanic's going to be able to get in there anyway. Because like I'm trying to think if I've ever played a point and click game with a stealth mechanic, and I haven't, and I don't know how you would make one work.
The primary thing is like the puzzles.
Yeah,
like that's really it, and I feel like we can have a lot of fun with it as a time traveler puzzler. That is about not getting... The story is about not getting caught and fixing the things that you messed up. or seeing things and being the reason why they happened in history.
Okay. So this plays like a visual novel also, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're going to have adorable little drawn-up versions of all the characters.
Oh, of like Socrates?
Yeah. Wait, Socrates? You mean Socrates?
This is the second time I've made this joke. That's a Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure joke. When they met Socrates, they're like, "Hey, Socrates," and they just call him that the entire movie.
I've never seen the second Bill and Ted movie.
No, it's the first one. Time travel's fun.
Holy shit! Okay. Blake, there it is! This is the Bill and Ted's game! Oh my god, this is the Bill and Ted game! This is Bill and Ted's...
Bill and Ted's...
Gucci game! Bill and Ted's Gucci game!
Gucci Adventure? Bill and Ted's Gucci Adventure?
No. See, they already had Bogus Adventure. Mm-hmm. Bill and Ted's...
Excellent Adventure.
Excellent. Oh, okay, so it would be another adventure one, huh?
Yeah.
What do we want to call it? Bill and Ted's what adventure? Correction
Adventure.
Bill and Ted's Correction Adventure! Holy shit! This is the greatest game I've ever played. Okay, cool. So now we have Bill and Ted, and they're running around with... Spartacus. I don't know how Spartacus gets involved, but they're definitely there with him too.
Oh man, that turned it like legit because they're not good at solving puzzles.
But we, the players, are.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I want to imagine Bill and Ted going through time, committing time crimes, getting Caesar killed. Hell yeah!
I don't think they could do that though.
They definitely did
They're
it.
Teenagers.
They didn't. They didn't kill him. Brutus and company killed him.
I don't know if
Bill and Ted are correcting history, and I'm sold. That's the game.
I don't know if I like that because I love the idea of like it's a person sent back in time to purposely investigate these mysteries.
I'm really sad that you don't like it because I'm gonna open up my tablet right now and I'm looking and they leaked the script to the Bill and Ted third movie, and it says right here, Bill and Ted go back in time and get Caesar killed. So we could eat their lunch right in front of them if we do it this way, and I think that's the greatest move we've ever played.
Okay.
For the first episode.
Describe me what level 5 of Bill and Ted's Correction Adventure would be like.
We already said that it was the Caesar level, where you have to get Caesar killed.
Okay, but I want to know what are some of the mechanics? What are we going to do?
Okay, you have to... We've been through this. You have to... get Caesar and like 8 people really mad at Caesar.
Okay.
You get Caesar to sleep with Brutus's wife.
Okay.
You get you get Caesar, or you frame Caesar to look like he spilled all the wine, and like the local wine seller's like, my wine! And then you get another level where like you break a bunch of laws and you blame it on Caesar, and now every cop is like, ooh, Caesar, he keeps breaking these laws.
Do you interact with Caesar at all?
No.
You know what would be really fun?
What?
If... the people, like, especially the assassination missions, like, you have to you somehow just accidentally become like the person that needs to be assassinated becomes really close friends with you. like Caesar just looks at you and like,
Oh, no. Hey, that's the level that happens with the Archduke. The Archduke for World War I has to get killed. You're super close friends with him, and you're just like, ugh, man, I gotta go stop
Bill
the guy.
and Ted are just like chilling out, like having sandwiches with this guy.
Bill and Ted are like, okay, you're super cool. We need you to stay right here because the guy that's gonna kill you is gonna be getting a sandwich soon, and he's gonna super murder you. So you're super cool. We're super cool. Thank you so much.
It's like, what? I'm gonna get murdered?
Totally radical, bro. And then they nux him. And then he dies. And then there's like, hooray, you beat the level. And Bill and Ted high-five each other. And then the lightning strikes. And then we get a swipe transition. And then we're in the new level.
Okay. I have one more mechanic I want to introduce to you.
Okay.
So the game ends. You've beaten like the last level. And maybe the last level was like finding out what happened to Hitler in his bunker.
Okay. Killing Hitler. The final level is that Bill and Ted kill Hitler.
Bill and Ted kill Hitler. I love that as a climax of this game. So basically, how millennial are Bill and Ted now? Are like they take a selfie at every opportunity? So the credits play, and it's just a selfie of them in front of the conspiracy over the credits.
Every single
level of just them with like hanging out with people that they met. You just have Stab Caesar in the background. Just like them completely oblivious to just what they've done.
Holy shit. This is so good. I think that's it.
You think that's it?
I think that's the game.
That's a good game.
That's the
I would
level?
play the hell out of that game.
Bill and Ted's
Oh.
Corrective Adventure.
Corrective Adventure. That's a good title.
That's
I like
a
that.
great title
That's
for
a
a
fun
video
title.
game.
Oh, dude, right on. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
I'm happy for that too.
Are we ready for patch notes?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think we're ready for patch notes.
All right, tell me about it.
All right. Well, you guys, that was the first episode of Spiritual Successor. Like we said at the top of the episode, this is going to be like our continuation, hopefully, of Cool Games Inc. We were a huge fan of the podcast when it was out, and, you know, I think that a lot of us have been kind of missing it. Right now, we're taking a bunch of suggestions that were never used from the Cool Games Inc. Reddit page. If you guys hear this and you have any fun video game ideas, by all means, go ahead and drop them in that Cool Games Inc. Reddit page. We're still willing to use that. But one way that we can guarantee that we will see it for our next episode is if you tweet at us. We have the Twitter handle SpiritualSuck with 2 C's. So that's just Spiritual SUCC. Mm-hmm. And if you tweet at us any video games ideas, we will absolutely see it. Right now, this episode was kind of short. We're probably going to be doing shorter episodes for a while until we start getting enough traction to really build out full-length episodes. Mm-hmm. I'm not entirely sure how long this episode's going to be right now, but we're really, really excited to kind of build this podcast up. We're really excited to kind of rekindle the flame that was Cool Games Inc.
Yeah, and just kind of as like a closer for me is like, I just want to say thank you to everybody that we got the ideas from. We know these ideas, your guys' ideas were submitted to Cool Games Inc. because you wanted them to cover them. We are not Cool Games Inc., but we are, you know, we definitely wanted to see those ideas used because we think they're fun and we think that it's really cool to see that discussion going on. So thank you, everybody that we got the ideas from today.
So that's it, guys. That's
These
the first
are
episode of
games
Spiritual
that should
Successor.
not be made.
I'm AJ Hart.
And I'm Blake Ray. Thanks for listening.
See ya.